Hey guys, it's Chris with Blind Man's Bluff Gaming, back with another guide. This time for Horde. I'm going to show you how to play Horde solo and get the most out of it and have a lot of fun. Stay tuned. Okay guys, first thing I suggest is with your loadout, I suggest using the scout and your first highest priority skill being health boost. The reason why is, well, you're going to be playing by yourself, and if you get downed, it's over. The health boost will allow you to pretty much take shots from anything except the boom shots and drop scions without getting downed. The second skill I recommend is deposit bonus, just because you'll get more power and having a strong base is very important. The third thing is shotgun damage, which is going to allow you to kill a lot of stuff a lot faster. Now, as far as your bounty goes, I suggest equipping the 200 kill bounty. It's worth 25,000 XP and you'll fill it up in 10 waves. Tip for that, you can actually build a 200 kill bounty if you don't have one. All you need to do is select it by pressing X, and it costs you 400 scrap. The setup. Tip number 1. Now you want to find a spot that, one, ideally has overhead cover, such as the buildings on Reclaimed or Gridlock. Also, you want a place where you can funnel the Swarm and Deebees towards you and not have them coming at you from your direct right and left, and never from behind. For most maps, the MP spawns work, those spawns where you start, Horde at. Now, a good analogy to think about this is like the movie 300 or the story of 300, where now you're the 300 and that's it, and you're taking on a massive army, and the idea is as long as they're in front of you or you can see them on your right or left, you're good, but if they get behind you, the game over. Now, another tip, you can use the fabricator to spawn enemies away from your base and your flanks. The fabricator has a 75 meter, it's estimated, no spawn zone radius, so you can use it to keep enemies from spawning in your base or on either of your flanks. So just, kind of place it, kind of the center of your base where you can get at it. Now, once the game starts. First tip, once the DR starts spawning, wave 3 or so, swap out your Nash or shotgun for the overkill. Its burst fire will allow you to kill multiple targets without reloading and big targets in one clip. I also recommend your secondary weapon not be a shotgun. In later waves you'll start running out of ammo, and trust me, the repair tool is not a good weapon. Personally, I liked having a assault rifle like the Retro Lancer, but I've also used the M-Bar, which is really good but kind of really scary at close range. But use whatever you're comfortable with. Now, building tips. First one, when you start building, try and build during the wave. Wait for lulls in the action or until the end of the wave. Keep an eye on the enemy counter and try and keep one enemy alive. Use your time between your waves to gather power, refill ammo, and repair. Tip number 2. The first thing I recommend building is a man turret for bigger enemies like guardians, later waves, and as a fallback if you get overwhelmed. Personally, I think the guardians are probably the most dangerous, especially since your main power weapon is going to be the shotgun. Now, once you get your man turret, experiment where you put it. You want it to be as effective as possible without taking a lot of damage, and especially avoiding boom shot fire. Tip number 3. Start building barriers. When you build barriers, stack them. Place 2 barriers pretty much right on top of each other, and layer them like a cake. And what will happen is One, the first barrier is going to take all the damage, and if that goes down, no big deal. But also, if they're running through, they're going to have to run through 2 barriers, and they're going to take a lot more damage. Now, tip 4, protect your flanks. Place a barrier and a sentry on your flanks. Hopefully you only have one. Now, sentries consume a lot of power, so only use them for low traffic areas. Number 5, buy a repair tool. Now note, a repair tool replaces your pistol and costs 5,000 power. Now tip, once you get your repair tool, use your repair tool to refill your man turrets right after using them. The last thing you want is your man turret to run out of ammo when you're getting rushed. Number 6, build a spare man turret. Make sure to stagger them out. Place one closer to your barriers so you can shoot enemies off of them, and one near the back of your base in case you get pushed back. Now I have a few general tips for Horde. Tip number 1, to level up your fabricator faster, let your barriers and decoys get destroyed instead of repairing them. Your fabricator levels from buying emplacements, not repairing, so always repair your man turrets and start repairing your barriers and decoys at level 4. Tip number 2, now if you like, build a decoy to help protect you against drop shot and boom shot scions. Again, these are your most deadly enemies and will end your game quickly. Either way, remember that the boom shot and drop shot scions, again, are your highest priority. When you hear them, take cover as quickly as possible or jump on your man turret and kill them as quickly as possible. Tip number 3, you can mark targets and you'll get a bonus 10% energy from their kills. Personally, I found this really hard when running with a shotgun, but on the turret it works really well. Now tip number 4, try and keep your back to your base to keep enemies from surrounding you. I kind of thought of it kind of like football, right? I mean, you have your sidelines and you have your end zone, out of bounds areas, and it kind of thought of my base as that. It kind of protected me on each side and kind of went in and out of it if I got pushed back and so forth. And finally, tip number 5, I like to have a barrier or two in reserve. That way, if they break through and there's a lull in the action, I can run up and put it in place. And I also like to layer my barriers, have 2 further up in front and then 1 further back a little bit just in case they break through. Anyways, guys, I hope these tips help you out. I hope you're having a great time playing Horde. If you are looking for more Horde tips, I have a volume 1, 2, 3 of Horde tips, 1 for checkout, and also there's some tips in my Horde review. Anyways, guys, if you are looking for more tips, tricks, guides, first impressions, and game reviews, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Anyways, guys, stay awesome.